we if we haven't recorded, I can share one thing.
Recording just started, so welcome
Yeah.
everybody to the February 27th Ortelius architecture meeting. Um, so the what was it? All my days are blending together. So just the other day we met with the Jenkins folks. So Mark Waite was able to arrange a UI developer, an additional developer from the Jenkins side. So a shout out to Mark for getting that arranged. I was only able to catch the tail end of the meeting, but it kind of sounded like that the concept of badges is something that we could make work with Jenkins in order to have minimal changes needed on our side and their side, basically. So a badge, Tracy, if you could open up another tab and just go to the Ortelius repo, go to GitHub/Ortelius.
Yep.
And I don't know which one you picked, probably the website.
I just did want Ortelius IO. I didn't pick a particular.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm at the website. Want me to go
yeah,
back
so
there?
go back up to one of the code ones. Sec front end, I think we'll have it.
You're looking for a badge.
Yeah, I'm looking for a badge to show. We don't have them on every single repo, so go to one of the other, instead of sec front end, go to one of the MS ones. It'll be like MS dash something. Yeah. Now that README should have it. So those are what the badges look like. So these are badges that we bring in through the README. Basically, it's a fancy URL that allows you to display some text, and then if you click on it, it takes you to the detail. So go back. Yeah, if you go to the ones a little bit lower, yeah, pick one of
Down
those.
here.
Yeah.
And those badges aren't working.
Oh, the link's not working. The badge is there. Some of them are display purposes only. Um, See, there you get some nice, fun, gory details.
Yeah.
Mm.
So this is one of the things that we want to make sure is on our badges, we can have multiple badges, but what ends up happening is an end user has to put the link in there on their site multiple times. So we could have a badge just for the overall score for the project. We can actually split the badge up because they're just SVGs. We could split it up into different sections. So you can have like an overall score of, high, low, critical type of thing. So I'm gonna have you go to another website. Go to Docker. Go to hub.docker.com. And there should be Explorer search on the top. Go up. In there's a search box. And type in Jenkins. And just hit enter. Yeah, that's fine.
The first one.
Yeah. So if you scroll down, there should be a security tab. This one may not have it. But anyways, there's a way to show like a gradient, like a different boxes. So you can have a number in the box, and it's color coded. So you can show like 0 critical, 0 high, 5 medium, and 2 low would be the box that we could do for our badge. So we can get creative on how we create the badges because they're just SVGs, so they're really easy to create. There is a program I've been using called AnyBadge, which is a Python module that will help you create the SVG. You just give it some, like the label and your value, and it'll go off in the colors, and it'll go off and do things for you automatically.
Is that cool, Steve? Any badge.
Yeah, look at any badge, all one word.
Thanks. It's a cool tip. Thank you.
And the cool part, well, the nice thing with any badge is you can give it like a mapping. So you could say map a success to green, a failure to red, warning to orange, and an error to red, for example. So you can do this mapping part pretty easy when you generate the badges. So that's where we can take some of that code and use it to create our badge. Now the question is, we need to figure out what we want in our badge, is what we need to look at.
And what the badge represented, because what we learned was
Yeah,
Jenkins doesn't have the concept of history, really. You can look at an older workflow and see its log, but beyond that, it doesn't have history. So in our case, we could show a vulnerability on an old workflow. So what we have to do is figure out how we want to just, if they click on the badge, we need to do an update to our component screen. So it's clear on that component if there's the current vulnerability for that component, and then previous releases that may now have a high risk or critical.
yeah. So by default, when we navigate to a component, we navigate to the latest component and to the latest application.
And that's what Jenkins, it only shows that.
Yeah. And from there, there's a drop down to go back in history. So I think we're going to have that covered if we take them to the latest component or the latest application version.
But we still need a way to show if there's because just because we're showing the latest version doesn't mean it was actually deployed. So we still have work to do at sorting out a summary screen on the component so that it makes, so it's more, we have a more thorough reporting.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to, because we show, it's not at the top, but it's at the bottom of the page, the deployment history for that component. We may need to move that around.
Well, what we need to be able to do is show continuously the CVEs that are showing up, even if for anything that's probably been I would say the most recent deployment. But keep in mind, we have companies who have applications that they haven't upgraded for a very long time, so they could be running an old version. And we can show the CVEs for that older version. So they may have half the installs on one version, another half installs on the latest because they're doing a slower rollout. So I feel like we need to do a summary screen that shows vulnerabilities that says for anything that was deployed, which we know if it was deployed or not, the CVEs for all previously deployed versions. The high and medium risk CVEs, not all of them.
Okay, we'll have to figure out what if that's going to be just like a list box, or if it's going to be a
exactly like the one we have. It should just be a table that shows the version number the environment was deployed to. And then underneath it, the high risk and medium risk vulnerabilities are the critical and high risk vulnerabilities that are current.
Okay. Yeah. So we already have a table that shows the deployment history.
Yeah,
But that is only for that version of the component. So
right.
it'll be, it's going to be difficult to figure out because when you're inside of a detail screen, you're looking at that specific version of that component or that specific version of the application. And we don't show any of the history. So we may have to figure out a new report or something to,
Well, I think that goes back to our dashboarding, right? Do we need to have something that's at a higher level? So the component, instead of going into a detail, would have a dashboard that shows more than just a single version. So anyway, that we have to get that sorted out.
yeah, so that may be that's where I'm headed is we just may need to put in a dashboard page that we can have the badge linked to.
Right.
So
And
does
that may
that
be
mean
our transition to go from the current UI into something a little bit newer with the dashboard pieces that we've been working on.
so we skip
So
the
that's,
plugin route? Is that right?
yes.
So
There
that's a
is,
good.
I think there still is a plugin that is needed. Um,
Oh, yeah, you're right. The badge plugin you need these
yeah,
for, right?
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So we'll still need that badge enabled, and then we'll need to go ahead and add in um, the the hyperlink into the markdown.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I think
But
I
I
stuck it
think
in the
all the
channel for
security,
everybody.
yeah, I think all the security stuff will be lot easier then.
Yeah, we won't run into. Yeah, I'll put it in the chat. Was this one for everybody else?
I'm using another one for what do you call it, for stats as well. If you open my GitHub profile, there I was like playing around with this. So we can create something like that.
Let me find. Did you put it
That
in chat?
Yep.
is that code with Utkarsh, that one.
Yes, yes.
Code with the legend Utkarsh. You should change it.
So inside this technologies and tools, they are the titles, and in the
That
GitHub
looks.
stats.
Oh, your GitHub is so smart.
I'm not
You didn't
seeing
see it.
mine.
You must have shared it just to Sasha.
Oh,
I just remember it because it's catchy. Yeah, I'll put it in the channel for everybody.
Oh,
It's
got it
really
now.
pretty code.
Yeah, yeah. So how are you creating those badges then?
yeah. If you go inside the code, it's just what you call markdown thing. And for stats, I'm pulling the stat from GitHub and then feeding it to one of the stat library, I guess. I did it like 4 years ago, so I need
Right.
to see
It
how I
says
did it.
it says camo in camo.githubusercontent.com. Does that ring a bell in the URL?
No.
Okay.
But
This
yeah,
this
it's
looks
pretty much
cool.
doable. It's not that it shouldn't be a challenge there until we know like from where to pull data, and that's it. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so that work, I think it looks like it's going to be simpler on the plugin side, but we do need some kind of a summary page that we can link the plugin to that gives the data that we want to be more obvious. I think that was a good call just in general for the the front end. We need to be able to make it easy for people to see a previously deployed component, a new vulnerability, because that's, you know, it's pretty much what we're selling, is the ability to see that.
Yeah,
Okay,
and the interesting part is the this badging thing will be able to be used outside of Jenkins, so it's not going to be only tied to Jenkins. We can use it on any markdown. We could use it on any, if you want to put it in your email, you could use it there
Yeah.
as a link. So that's a nice handy thing.
Is it Shields?
Steve,
Gosh, Shields.io. Sorry,
Yep. Yeah, I've used Shields.io before for other badges.
I'll just put the link in the channel in the chat for everyone.
Yeah, so we could actually use Shields.io for generating the image, and then just the link would be to the right summary dashboard.
so
Nice.
on considering this conversation, Jesse is on the call today, and Jesse has he starts university, he's going to have a project that he needs to do, and I'm wondering if this badging could be a good place for him to start. At least creating the badge, not the screen, not the.
Right.
Yeah, they need a deliverable, so it can be a plugin or executable. So something they can package it up. Basically, it's part of the international IB program, which is required as as part of the coursework. So at the end of the day, he need to design. He need to deliver all the documentations, including design, coding. So he needs something which he can build by himself, which is executable.
Yeah.
He can give it to his teacher.
Right. Let me think about that. I think, what language would it need to be in? Like Python or Go or
He knows
Node.js?
Python quite well, but I know here we're using Go, right? Go and Python is not that much. I don't know. I haven't used Go yet. Is that steep learning curve?
I didn't find it. I found it relatively easy transition. It took a little bit to get up to speed, just because the syntax is slightly different. But we have plenty of stuff that's in Python, so we can stick with Python. Let me scope something out around this, and I will forget, I guarantee. So ping me and remind me that I need to get something back to you in early next week.
Sure. So what I do, Jesse, are you in the call? So ask him to summarize the requirements and then send it to you and Tracy. Is that okay?
Yeah, that works perfect.
Thanks.
And if you just do, yeah, just use the email, and that'll be the best for me to keep track of that and get something scoped out.
Sure. Thanks for that, Steve.
Yep. Well, what I'm thinking right now is probably like a Python module that would do a bunch of stuff, but I'll have to see how we need to lay this out.
Okay. Thanks. I don't think Jesse have camera on, so that's why he's in
No
another
problem.
room. Yeah, thanks.
Any other things that we need to cover?
That was the main stuff. The only other thing is Kate found like a project management tool like 3-4 weeks ago, and I think once we now we have a better direction of where we need to head with the Jenkins side. I should be able to break that down, like the work that Jesse would be doing, all the other pieces of the work that needs to be done, and lay out some tasks that we can actually put into the project management side of things. So we can have people start working on things and keep track of where they're at.
What tools are we using for project management?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Kate, do you know the
So-
name of it?
Is it outside of GitHub? No, right?
Yes,
That
it was
tool.
outside of GitHub.
Linear,
Trello
that
is
is
being used.
Linear is a great app.
I'll get it for you. Just a second.
Is that free, so
I
open source or Kate?
There was a certain amount that we could use for free, so it wasn't exactly open source.
Free enough.
I also
I think it was
Yeah.
falling into the free enough category for our
Yeah.
size of team.
It was sort of
Exactly.
fun to use, right?
Steve, I also shared one link and it's linear. We are currently using it in our company and it's good as compared to like Jira and Asana.
Oh my goodness, Steve, what happened to us?
I know. I can't.
Yeah, a lot in the market though. That's why I was asking. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I'll get it, guys. Oh my goodness.
Okay. There's a ton on the market, you're right.
Yeah, but I was really looking at few though. But now more and more they are starting charging now. But Jenkins, I think, oh not Jenkins, sorry. Yeah, I think the open source one, or not open source. I think some of them they have for small groups. Yeah.
Free for like, yeah, that's why, yeah, that's like free enough. It's free enough for a small group. Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe I sent you the link and everything. What the
I
heck?
know.
Yeah,
I have it somewhere. I just don't have it handy.
Yeah,
Oh.
I know the last year well, I think they give you for free, right, for small group.
I think so. I think you're right.
It was
Yeah.
It was one of those that was much easier to use than Atlassian or Jira.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, no,
much simple for
Now,
what
if
we
we
need
could
to
find
do.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Death by Jira.
Oh yeah.
That's,
I've had that happen before.
That's for sure.
also like yesterday, the Slack was down.
Yeah, it was done. You're right.
Yeah, the mobile version was working good, but the desktop version was down.
Smartsheet.
That's it.
Spreadsheet.
Started with an S.
Is it a .com or a .io or a...
Smartsheet automation. It was actually,
You have a
I like
link?
it, but
let's check it out.
Smartsheet automation. I'll put it in the
Oh, smartsheet.com, that one.
Yeah, so I think it, like we were saying, it has the good enough, and I will work on tasking everything out and creating the requirements and things like that. And so there will eventually be corresponding GitHub issues and design documentation and stuff like that.
So is it smartsheet.com? Is that the one?
it's apps.smartsheet.com.
Oh, apps.smartsheet.
And let me just promise log into mine, but should I open this up? I put it in the chat.
Oh, cool.
All right. So that was all I have. Anybody else have anything that they want to bring up real quick?
And if
No,
somebody has
whichever-
like a better tool or something, I mean, you know, with project management,
Oh,
let
this
me know.
looks good. This looks good.
AK, you can look at linear. It's good.
We just need to remember if we're going to use an external tool to GitHub to manage the project, that we just have to make sure that each repo shows where that project tool is and a link to it, at least on the README.
And also, like, I am using currently linear, so if you want, I can also give the demo.
I
That
just have a
link,
quick Google though. They said you can integrate GitHub with Smartsheets, but you have to use it through other tools like Zapier or Magical or Zoho Flow.
Yeah, I think for what we're doing, we're not going to be overly complicated. I would imagine we're going to have less than 12 tasks that need to be done, so it's not going to be a huge thing. It's just more in the lines of let's give this a go, see what it can do, and see if it helps the project. And if it does, if we do figure out that something like Smartsheets is helping the project, then we can figure out how to do tighter integration down the road.
Yeah, this looks cool though. This is very nice. Simple.
You know, it's not like we're going in and closing issues out every couple hours. And well, Sasha may code that fast, but
No ways. I'm terrible at closing out issues. I'll be the first one to put my hand up. I'm useless. Sorry. I always find other issues that aren't on the issue board.
yeah, you find one and create, you solve one and create two.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay. Thank you, everybody. Jin, don't forget, remember to send that email, or Jesse, one of you two.
Yep, we'll do. We'll get the shoot out today.
Perfect. And I will start scoping that out for you and the rest of the stuff.
Awesome.
Hey.
All right. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Cheers,
Stay
guys.
safe.
Bye.
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 Thanks, everyone.
Bye.